I've had 3 glasses of wine because I was nervous.
Oh.
I've done this before, obviously, but there's a different level when you have to do it on your own.
Oh, there definitely is. Let me get a tweet out.
Yes, I tweeted yes. Kitty, kitty.
Show.
I just realized the overlay's off-centered on us and I want to switch it, but I know if you mess one thing up, you're going to mess the whole thing up.
Oh, entirely.
Like you're closer to the planet than I am. But no, don't touch it because then it's all going to go to hell.
That's going away. All right. Boom and done. Tweet sent out.
Lovely.
Woohoo! Let's do this live.
Yes.
I can't see you either.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fun times. Okay.
That's fine.
We don't have any intros, so we're just going to go live then. Would you like to kick us off or do you want me to?
Why don't you? You're hosting this
lovely.
one. I'm just hanging out.
Yes, I am hosting this one. So, welcome to episode 98. Hey everyone, you all know me. I am Turarts, the Beast Mastery Hunter, roaming around Azeroth, most likely to die from fatigue because I've alt-tabbed out of the game. And Cuddles is our Brew Master Monk, still hanging out in Pandaria in his artisanal cheese shop, giving 0 craps that the Legion is invading. I am so excited that he is here tonight because it was all up in the air until literally 8 minutes ago as to what we were going to be doing this episode. So we have a plan. We have a mission. Episode 98 is fun. It's unique. We're going to have a great time. And hopefully Cuddles will be here as long as possible. How's Irma going?
It's going all right. It hasn't been nearly as bad as Storm Apocalypse 2017 like media agenda made it to be. But we are right now, the wind's sustained around 50, 60 miles an hour with gusts up to 80. So that's like going on like right behind me, right outside the window. So I don't know. I was outside a little bit earlier. Like one side of our house is blocking the wind, so like I stood out there up against the house, and it's pretty darn cool. It's the power of Mother Nature is astounding.
Well, I'm glad you guys are doing okay. So is it like halfway? Has it just begun? Like hurricane, I live in Iowa, so we obviously don't get those.
It's kind of just starting for us. We have another probably 4 or 5 hours of it'll ramp up a little bit more, then kind of stay steady, then start tapering off. I'm inland, so I don't have to worry about storm surge. That's usually like the big killer.
Yeah.
And I'm far enough inland that storm surge and flooding won't be a problem. So it's it's probably about another 4 or 5 hours. Power has flickered on and off several times. My computer has been off for the vast majority of the day, which has sucked. I haven't gotten anything done. But I didn't know what the power situation was going to be like. And I wanted to just leave my expensive electronics powered down for the day. So it's just kind of been like wait and see. I actually ran out like an hour and a half ago. Cuddle Wife said that she wanted beer and cookies.
I saw that, you crazy person, you.
Yeah, I went out. It was like only tropical storm force winds. Then it was like 20, 30 mile an hour winds. And I'm from here. Like that's a bad thunderstorm. So as foolish as it may seem to somebody to venture out, like the emergency council, whatever, told us not to leave our houses after noon. And I think I went out, about 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
And it was fun. It's bad enough now where I wouldn't want to go out, but it wasn't that bad then.
It's kind of like in Iowa, we'll get these really bad snowstorms in the winter, and people are like, why are you leaving? And I'm like, it's fine. It's just ice. Like, it's just ice. You just drive slow. And you're fine. But I'm so glad to have you on because I did want to talk about something. First off, episode 98, we obviously are doing things very differently. I am hosting. We don't have a guest, but that is because we actually have a very rigid schedule for once on the Game Case show. With episode 100 fast approaching, September 24th, guys, is going to be our episode 100. And I have surprises, that Cuddles doesn't know about.
I know
So
nothing.
I know we have to kind of reach our goal of having the episode on that day. We will be doing an 8-hour stream starting at our usual 10 p.m. Eastern Time and running to 6 a.m. Eastern Time. This will not only be the longest I've ever streamed for, the latest at night I have also ever streamed for. So this is going to be a ton of fun for both of us. I think the plan is just to play games, maybe include some of you in if you come hang out with us, reminisce about past things, just a big stream party fest. We're both very excited. I'm speaking for you, but I think we're both pretty excited. Episode 100.
I'm super excited. It's a milestone. I can remember I went live at episode 10,
N-
I think.
9 or 10. Yeah, I had to go back and look at all of them for reasons.
Oh, jeez. I don't even want to. And I can't believe after, especially, and please no one go back and look at that, but good Lord. Like where it's come from episode 10 of me sitting, I'm pretty sure I was still using my headset mic.
You were.
And sitting in a different room to now like sitting in front of a green screen, having the mic, and hopefully producing a little bit better content for everybody. Like it marginally improved, but at least my chair has, so I'm happy with that.
There you go. I went back and buzzed through some of the episodes. I have not watched all of them for different reasons, and I was on episode 36, I think, talking about the first Well Played Live party. And then I came on a year later, episode 62, 63, somewhere in there, and I've been on ever since. The difference in that year for you was amazing to watch as I came back around and saw myself again. I'm like, oh, look, it's a completely different Cuddles.
Oh, wow. I'm scared. Now I'm going to have to go back and watch this.
No, it's fine.
Oh, jeez. Different
That's
Cuddles.
It's awesome. But yeah, we're very excited. So for the 100th, and we'll be tweeting about it starting very soon, I'm sure. Come hang out with us throughout the night. We're going to be, like I said, gaming, reminiscing. There's surprises. It'll be tons of fun. So an 8-hour stream starting at our normal, that's a fun word, normal 10 o'clock Eastern Time and going to 6 a.m. Eastern Time on the 25th. And there will be alcohol and caffeine. This can't go wrong.
Yeah, no, there's no problem with mixing uppers and downers, right, children? Stay in school.
This is going to be great. Something else I want to talk about real quick. We don't usually talk about like bits and donations and stuff on this stream because we talk about gains, but Twitch is doing something pretty amazing right now. For every bit that you donate to a streamer, 20% of that goes to Extra Life, and that's through the 19th of September. How they broke it down is basically every 1,000 bits, which is $10, they're going to donate $2, so 20%. If you have a streamer that you love, you've been hanging on to bits, because that's what I do. I usually watch a ton of not episodes, they're basically episodes, ads, get a ton, and then throw them at streamers. Now's the time to donate through now and September 19th. Add a hashtag charity towards the end of your cheer before you send it, and they will donate. Last I checked, they were up to like $53,000, I think, to Extra Life. If anyone's seeing a more recent thing, let me know. But yeah, it's super exciting. So go ahead and do that. We don't talk about that stuff often, but Extra Life is an amazing organization.
Oh yeah, Extra Life is absolutely incredible. In this. So none of this comes out of the broadcaster's pocket. This is something that Twitch is doing. And even though this may come out of ad revenue or like there's some way that it's working it that I'm sure every Twitch employee isn't pulling out a penny and throwing it in a hat to raise the money. But Twitch is giving up money to do this for a charity. This is really, really cool. Extra Life is an absolutely amazing and incredible charity, as I say, sitting here in my red shirt. Steve, don't fire me.
They are. Well, you guys kind of do different things, so I think it's.
Oh no, totally different.
Yeah, it's okay.
Zero. And Dang Dog, thank you for the bits in chat, and thank you for that Exclaim charity. There's our money check, $52,982 as of this recording.
That is amazing. Yeah, it's it's such a great cause, and I think they have done this before, like last October, because I was researching. I get caught in these loops where I need to find out more information. But yes, very exciting. So this is not like me and Cuddles saying you need to throw bits at us. You can throw bits at any content creators that you want to. Ignore Cuddles right now. Obviously, we would love them, but go spread some love for your creators and for the charity. So let's talk about you, Cuddles, because we haven't had a show in 2 weeks. I've been
No,
going
we have not.
crazy. You were gone, and I want to talk about why you were gone. Let's talk PAX West.
PAX West was absolutely incredible. I think it's got to be the most unique of the PAXs. I got to do the three major U.S. PAXs this year.
I
I got to
know.
do South, East, and now West. Thank you to StackUp.org for making a lot of that possible. But it was so the way the Seattle Convention Center is set up. There's two main exhibit halls on the fourth floor of the convention center.
Okay.
There's some tabletop stuff on the second floor. There's indie games up on the sixth floor. And then there's various hotels around the convention that all have little like
Things.
breakouts and things. Like Destiny 2, for example, which is now launched. Huge congrats to Bungie for, by all reports, an extremely successful Destiny 2 launch. But they had an entire theater called the Paragon Theater that was like across the street and down the road half a block. Like I'm so used to everything at a con being on the floor.
There's some walking involved. Oh, we might have actually lost him, guys, because Hurricane Irma's happening. I'm going to give him a second. He will probably message me. We knew that this was going to happen. That's why episode 90 is going to be a very unique episode. Let me throw that up, pull that down, and see if we can get him back in. But yes, this is what's happening. So while he's offline, guys, go spam him some love for sure. Irma is about to hit kind of its peak. The next 5 to 6 hours are going to be rough on him. I know he's probably not going to get much sleep. I'm not going to get much sleep worrying about him. I'm probably going to text him every 30 minutes or so, just being like, you guys okay? You guys okay? He is offline on Skype. So unfortunately, that probably means that we have lost him for the night. But that's fine. You have me. I had a plan in case this happens. Well, he's still online because I am hosting. Oh, it's dripping in and out. Okay. All right. Yes, I'm actually hosting the stream. I am doing the stream by myself tonight. So, it's okay. Do we maybe have him back? But yes, so I could hear myself. Cuddles? We're going to mute my microphone there for a second and see what's going on. But yes, we knew this was a possibility. So while we're seeing if Cuddles comes back, maybe, maybe not. I do have a request for everyone. So this is, like I said, this is a really rough time for Florida. Cuddles needs some distractions. Let's spam him on Twitter with all your thoughts of love. Okay, perfect. I can do that. This means I get to leave Skype, which is great because I very much do not like Skype. So, yeah, yes, it is. It's lovely. We're going to get Cuddles back in here. I am connecting now. Yes, so for those of you that just joined us, we lost Cuddles on Skype, which is fine. We're going to get him back in Discord, though, in just a moment. And yes, just spam him with love and pictures of bacon and booze and Jeeps and PUBG. I think I have well-roundedly covered everything that Cuddles loves. Because the other things he has with him there in Florida, he doesn't need pictures of those. He can go just cuddle with them. as far as me, I'll do updates on my life real quick because yes, we'll do updates on my life. PUBG. I am loving PUBG. I'm getting much more aggressive at it, guys. It is an amazing game. If you haven't picked it up already, please do. Um, it's a very fun kind of like survival game, and my favorite aspect about it is yes, there's some skill level, but you all kind of drop in, and if you get crap drops, like you're just hosed. So there is a up in the air chance that even if you aren't the best, most awesomest shot in the world, you can still survive pretty long just based on sheer luck. And that's what I do very well on, ladies and gentlemen, is sheer luck. I also, since we last had this show, jumped into Elite Dangerous. Tons of fun. I am loving that game, and I am stealing this from someone in my chat. It is not a learning curve game, it is a learning cliff game. Oh my goodness, wow. The frustrations with landing, with flying, with trying to understand what all these concepts mean. This is unlike any game I've ever played. I usually, when I jump into a new game, I have a reference point. I can be like, oh, this reminds me of this aspect in WoW, or this reminds me of this aspect in fill in the blank, but I have none of that for this game. This is such a unique game that you really are kind of piddling around, figuring out, and trying to just make everything work. The first time I did it, literally I just streamed the tutorials, and then I streamed me going to some place that I already forgot the name of because that is how I roll. But it was frustrating. It took me like a half hour to land. Second night, got a group going, and it was tons of fun. We were able to actually go places and do things. And I missed a call from Cuddles because I thought we were doing something else. But it's fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're back. Awesome.
I am back. Let's not even worry about video. My evidently one of my battery backups has failed, so I had the power like just hiccuped, but it was enough to shut off one of my PCs, and then cut my internet, and then mess up all my anyway.
Okay, so we'll do the Discord. I was just telling.
And I can live here.
Perfect. I can live with this. Like I said, we're gonna keep it short tonight anyway. But I was just telling them we not extra lifed, we Elite Dangerous, and night number 2 of me Elite Dangerous was so much better than night number 1. It was tons of fun.
Oh no, you're like totally getting a hang of it. You're basically an elite pilot now.
We won't go that far. I can land in less than 10 minutes, and that is my goal in Elite Dangerous, is to land in less than 10 minutes. So far, achieving that.
Dang dog, thank you for that massive amount of biddies.
So yeah, look at that. And look at the donation go up for the extra life. Not that I'm excited that you're getting bits, but the extra life donation's pretty awesome.
I'm totally excited about me getting bits.
Yes, and that's fine. And then one last thing, and we'll talk about PAX West again. I did make affiliate in streaming, so that's a little bit of news there. Very excited. And that's partly to this community and the CTR community, because most of the hurdles people have to jump is getting the viewers and getting the followers, whereas I was very fortunate that those were not my hurdles. My hurdle was actually the 7 unique streams, just because of a dog and a kid and a job and 2 podcasts. So yay, I made affiliate, so a little bit of exciting news there. But let's talk PAX West again. You were just on talking about how it's kind of a spread out convention. Hotels do their own things. The convention center has 6 floors so far from what I've heard. Maybe more, but
so there's 6 floors, but there's things on things are on 2, 4, and 6.
Okay.
Or maybe there was cool stuff going on the other floors that I just like. Here was my biggest takeaway outside of some of the things that happened at the con was 100% like I feel like I just missed something. Like I feel like there was an entire cavalcade of internet video game revelry going on that I just didn't see, because I was like, oh, what? There's a 6th floor on like the 3rd day.
Already, what, 3/4 of the way through, and you've realized the 6th floor. Love it.
Yeah, somebody's like, oh, we're going up to the 6th floor. I was like, oh, what's up there? Bathrooms? Couches? They're like, no, man, it's all the indie games. I was like, oh, okay. And ended up there. So it was like that was my biggest takeaway, like just on a personal level, is I feel like I want to go back next year just to find out which massive part of the convention I didn't get to see.
What's on 4-3? That's what I want to know. Seems like a good floor.
I don't know. Well, it's on platform 9 3/4. That's what I've been trying to figure out.
That's where I need to know. Like, where's that at? Um, was there anything that you were like blown away by, surprised, anything that happened or that you did or wasn't expecting?
So there were a couple of things, but they all involved interactions with others. And I'll say this was my this is not all a reflection on the excitement or hype or coolness of PAX West. This was my 5th convention this year, which sounds wonderful, amazing, and grand. Like, yay, you get to travel to conventions. Yes, it really is. It beats the hell out of digging ditches. I enjoy it and I'm thankful for it. However, what I've lost is kind of that like bright-eyed walking into the con floor going, oh my god, look at the Ubisoft booth. Because I'm like, hey, Ubisoft brought the same booth from the last event. Hey, what's going on, Mark? Hey man, what's up? Like that's my con experience now. I don't want to say I'm like jaded or cynical, but it doesn't have that it doesn't have that new con smell to me anymore. But so absolute high points. One of them was meeting Barnacle,'s Nerdgasm.
Ooh.
I don't know if anybody is aware of who he is. He's a former Microsoft employee turned full-time YouTube tech vlogger, and I've been watching this guy for years. Literally, he was one of the guys that helped me decide to buy a DX Racer. He was one of the guys that helped me decide on my multi-monitor stand, and not him personally, but watching him on YouTube. So I happened to be at the Twitch party on one of the nights that I was there, and he's walking the other way. I was like, that's Barnacles. Because I noticed he had started streaming on Twitch, like a lot of these guys are doing. And all he does is an IRL stream in the morning called Coffee with Barnacles, and just sits there and like talks for an hour and a half, and it's awesome. Some days when I go on late, it's because I've been watching him. Sorry guys, love you. But so I went over. I was like, hey man, can I get a picture with you? He's like, yeah, sure. What do you do? And I told him like what I did. Said I was a huge fan. I've been watching him for years. I called out one of his old videos. He's like, man, you've been watching for a while. Blah blah blah. But anyway, turns out the people that he was meeting weren't there yet. So he pulled me aside, and we actually sat down and talked for like an hour and a half.
Oh wow.
If anyone actually watches him and happened to catch his live stream from the Twitch party that night, he was actually reading chat and monitoring his stream off of my cell phone. Because that's why he started streaming, and it was like having a problem seeing something. Somebody said something was wrong. I was like, here, watch the chat. And then I got pulled away, but had several other conversations with him. May actually end up in one of his videos.
Oh, that's exciting.
But like my biggest, like the huge takeaway from that, and from several other people who I will not name because I don't want to. Like I found out that a lot of people that I think are famous dicks are some of the coolest, most down to earth people that I've ever met. Dr. Disrespect was actually one. I think most people would assume that he's a dick. If you've never watched him, he's a Twitch personality with a large following that just acts like a dick all the time. Like his whole shtick is like, I'm this big rude asshole. And then Barnacles and so many others that I don't want to call out as being dick, that I thought that they were dicks. But a lot of really, really cool people. And I think that was my big takeaway, is a lot of these people that we put up on a pedestal aren't, like, they're just people. And I kind of knew that, but this really reinforced it.
I'm so excited you had a good time. There's one thing I want to touch on what you haven't talked about yet. It's a party you went to, since we are a Blizzard podcast.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about the Frontier Development Party?
No, oh my god.
Okay, the Twitch party?
No, the Blizz thing that you got to go
party?
to. The Blizzard one.
Oh, the Blizzard
Blizzard
Entertainment World of Warcraft, World of Warcraft Shadows of Argus
Mm-hmm.
party that
That
I
one.
got to go to. That one,
Yeah.
okay. Um, yeah, no, that was cool.
That's it. That's cool. That's it.
This is what I was like. I'm not hosting. I want to see how she reacts to
That's
this.
it. Okay. Well, let's
Um,
talk about. You said you met. See, we talked about this before. I have an upper hand here. Were there any devs there?
there was several devs that I did not like. I hadn't had the pleasure of meeting before. And forgive me, I've forgotten what all of your fancy titles are. But I very much enjoyed speaking with you. I actually had a really good chat with a gentleman who was the head of corporate partnerships,
Oh wow.
which for me in my realm is a really cool guy to know. And take that two steps back, he was just a really cool guy. Everybody that I have ever met from Blizzard is just like they're just cool people. Um, so let me see who else. Kai was there, who some may know. I think she did a brief stint at Wowhead, and then worked at Obsidian. She goes by MMO Girl Kai over on the Twitter machine. She was hanging out there. Callie Monk from the Monk community. Um, just like all of the very cool people. A couple people from Curse. It was a really really good time. Like a really really good time. Um, and they had a giant ice sculpture of Argus. They had a 360 camera that I didn't get a chance to take advantage of, and then they had Blizzard artists, two or three Blizzard artists doing caricatures. So like it was just one of the coolest parties. There was only about 50, 60 people there. They gave away a swag bag, of which I will have two posters to give away,
Oh
probably on our
nice.
100th episode.
Yay.
I don't even know what they are. I have no clue, but they also gave away a Razor Naga mouse in there, which Cuddle Wife has claimed.
Nice.
A You had your choice of Horde or Alliance, so I of course choose Alliance.
It's because we
And got
bleed
an
blue.
Alliance coffee mug. So it was one of the coolest parties that I've been to in several cons. And we have Grumpy Drunken One, who is actually one of the Stack Up Air Assaults, an active duty Navy gentleman, um, who was there, and yeah, he's just echoing it. The party was awesome, and then I can't read what he said next. It's something for the
For the for the
for
other. Did you
I think
just
that
delete? Did you time him out for
I
that?
think that I think that just happened for 2 seconds.
You deleted all his other messages too. Oh Lord. He still has power. I may be hosting, but he still has power I cannot take away. Um but yes, I am so excited. So you went to a lot of parties because I talked to you on Sunday. We actually we phone called on Sunday and you were a little tired.
I so convention life for me, since I have the pleasure of being there now as a Stack Up employee, um, I get up with everyone else. Which guess what? We're a military charity ran by a couple of
You get
veterans.
up early.
Um, yeah, these assholes don't sleep in. Um, so I don't think my head hit a pillow before 5 because generally every night I was going out and having breakfast after we were done at the parties, just because I hadn't eaten. I was generally starving and maybe a little tipsy most nights. Um, but I would hit my head would hit the pillow about 5, and I was waking up between 7 and 7:30. Add to that the fact that I flew out on Wednesday at 5 a.m. So I actually my entire day Tuesday was delivering a computer to a quadriplegic Marine over in DeLand. Then I drove home, packed, and half an hour later got in an Uber and went to the airport. Um, so I was running like 48 hours before I got my first 2-3 hours of sleep, and then that's kind of how the entire weekend went. But that's con life for me. This is a really long explanation.
You make me very scared for East because I don't like I need sleep. I need sleep.
Well, so a lot of the parties that I get to go to with Stack Up are because of Stack Up. Not because I'm particularly all that special
Good.
or know anyone. Although I'm getting to know a couple of people. So oftentimes, cut a wife, I'm not able to procure a +1 for a lot of these parties. So cut a wife will be looking for somebody to have dinner with and
Sweet.
then hang out with.
Not that we're gonna ditch you, but we're totally gonna ditch you.
You can totally ditch me.
Totally ditching you. You have to work. We're gonna go play. Um, Good. I'm glad Con Life is not everyone staying up till 5 a.m. because I cannot do that. Anyway, so PAX East was exciting. We have TwitchCon coming up, which we're going to talk about in a couple episodes, actually. Like I said, we're on a very rigid schedule, which is why we needed a 98, because we have to 99 next week so we can 100 the week after. Um, let's, real quick, real life, what have you been up to this past week? I did my little spiel. We haven't really had a chance to talk to you. Any exciting things?
Getting back from PAX West, really and truly. I made it back late on Tuesday. My master plan was to do an 18-hour Destiny stream. I walked in the house, like I had a little mini temper tantrum when we picked up our kid. I want to go home. Made it
I
home
can
and then
see
passed out like a
this.
6-year-old. Um, like literally, if you've ever seen a child when they get really tired, they just fall over. That's exactly what I did. Like I threw a fit, and then I stopped moving and just passed out. Um, so that was, and then Tuesday or the next day, I ended up doing a really short stream because I was still exhausted. Um, I streamed some PUBG on Thursday and did a 13-hour birthday stream. Thank you for everybody that stopped by that, by the way. I am getting too old. But I appreciate everybody that celebrated with me. But then Friday was hurricane prep. I mean, really, it was going around, and I was actually able to procure a generator. So if we do in fact lose power, I can run our house, not our house, but I can run essentials for about probably 2 or 3 days, based on the amount of gas we have. So, yeah, it's just been prepping for this hurricane that was supposed to be horrible, and now I'm sitting here doing a podcast in the middle of it.
Life. Fun stuff. I'm really glad you are doing this podcast. Um, then my next question for you is, we've talked about this on the show a little bit. WoW's been, there's a reason that they say PUBG is kind of a killer of WoW. It's just one of those things we're kind of in a lull again. Did going to PAX West, going to that party, kind of rev you up to want to get back into the game a bit more than you have been lately?
10 of 10. Like, so they showed the opening cinematic that we'd already seen, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And that I could have seen if I had played it in game, but like no time. Absolutely no time before I left for PAX. But anytime you see one of these cinematics in the presence of other WoW fans, a lot of people, like, when I go to BlizzCon, I don't have a ticket this year. I will just be going as a person. But for everybody that goes the first time, I tell them to get a ticket, because there is something about the magic of sitting in that room when they announce things. And even at this party, they didn't announce anything new. Like they weren't telling the 40 people that came to their party like some breaking news, but the power of being around other WoW fans and feeling that energy is something that I've never experienced with any other game. That was really magic, and it's got me hyped to get back in, and hopefully once the storm passes and all that stuff gets done, hopefully I'll be able to dive into some Argus.
Yay, it's fun. I've been there. I've not fallen off yet, but you can fall off.
I have heard that. I will
Yes.
probably fall off. I am famous for doing that. Although
Yeah.
I don't have my monk roll anymore, so
I
I'll probably
know,
still do it.
because you're artisanal cheesing. You need to get him back out in action. He's probably freak, though, because he's missed a couple expansions. He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, what? Who are these space goat looking things? They weren't around in Warlords, were they? What? Huh? Get off
Goodness.
my lawn.
I can see you doing that too. Just going around emoting, get off my lawn. God, I
I
love
could
it.
totally do that.
Um, and then real quick, so we've already talked about episode 100's coming up. Do you have anything that you want to add? People coming and hanging out, or do you want to say we're not really gonna? Next episode, we're gonna do a stack up episode, so we'll be focusing a ton on that. This is kind of our last episode before the big one,
Yeah, guys. Episode 100. What's the date?
the 24th.
24th of September. Um, it's gonna be super exciting. We'll have some giveaways. I have some swag sitting around here that like I just don't like mailing things. But Cuddle Life, you're gonna have to mail things.
Fact, I know this for a
Um,
fact. He hates mailing things.
really, I'm actually using a webcam that I promised T she could have like 6 months ago. And it's not because I don't want to get rid of it. It's just like
He doesn't want to go to the post office. That's what he told
way
me.
over there. Yeah, I don't. So legitimately, my mother. I've known my biological mother for 6 years. This was the very first year I ever got a card, and you do not understand in my family what an achievement it is to actually purchase, mail, and get a card to someone within the same 6 months. Not even anyway. Um, but yeah, we'll have a bunch of giveaways. We'll be doing a bunch of cool stuff. Um, and I do have something rather odd to end the show with.
Go for it.
I haven't asked before we do. I don't know what else we're doing.
Shout
I'm
outs. We're getting towards the end, so go ahead. This would be a good place
okay.
to.
So I have an ask of you guys. This is something that normally gets done. I don't even know if I've ever done this before. However, if somebody, yeah, we still have New Year's cards sitting in a pile that were never mailed. If someone out there within our listening audience, if someone knows someone with Blizzard PR, this is not for me. This is for a charity. I need a connection with somebody in Blizzard PR. I've been kicked around all my connects, and I need to talk to somebody within the next week or so. If anybody knows that person, I'm not asking for a favor, other than an email. And if you want to be generous, an introduction, like, hey, this guy isn't a crazy lunatic, because I've evidently come off that way sometimes. But yeah, that's it. If anybody has any connects with Blizzard PR, I really need to speak to someone.
All right, let's
That's
find him
done.
someone. Hey, we can do it. People know people. I think, like I said, this was going to be kind of a short show because we weren't quite sure what was going to be happening. Cuddles, do you have any shout outs for this week? It's been a busy couple weeks, actually. Do you have any shout outs for the past 2 weeks? It's been busy for both of us.
I do. Huge shout out to everybody with StackUp.org. Special shout to our air assaults, that were out in Seattle. I got to meet a lot of these guys, become very good friends with them. Also Infrared Mike for spending a lot of time with me. Pretty Poison, 150. And then Frisk and Haley and oh my gosh, this list is never gonna end. UGR and Continue and insert many other names here. Everybody that made my PAX West was memorable, wonderful, and just thank you. It was a really good con.
Awesome. Shout outs for me. Thank you so much to the community. Like I said, the affiliate was unexpected. I'm very excited to be a part of this elite group of people. So thank you to everyone who has watched me on this journey. Special shout out to Kalani, Duke, and Cuddles because they elite dangerous with me last night for quite a while. I think we went like 3.5 hours or something, and I am definitely much more confident. I even have like tons of notes that I wrote about this game. It's so much fun. There's science aspects and there's history aspects and there's all sorts of other things, and I have alerts on for something and I'm not quite sure what, but whatever that was, thank you. I forgot to turn those off. But yes, shout out to that. And then for Cuddles and Cuddle Wife because they have been amazing through my journey with the streaming and then through my journey with podcasting. I don't think they realize how much this podcast means to me. It has both helped me as a person, but also kind of saved me a couple times. So Thank you both for just being amazing and letting me, trusting me enough to take this journey and to lead this podcast tonight. It's been ups and downs, but we did it, guys. We 98'd. I'm really glad it's episode 98 and not 69 because I could not have done that with a 69. Thank God we're on 98. Yeah, I think that's probably gonna do it for us unless you have anything to add.
I just want to sincerely apologize for our audio listeners who are going to get the benefit of me not editing this and throwing the mess of this show up in one like fine clip.
It's Hurricane Irma. We'll just episode 98 Irmagheddon. That's what we'll call it.
Oh my god!
There you go. They'll understand. Our crew is pretty epic. So guys, next week we're gonna have someone from Stack Up on. If you have questions, we didn't have questions this week because again we weren't quite sure what was going on literally until like 5 minutes after the show was supposed to start. Get them in for Stack Up, and then episode 100 is gonna be happening very soon, and very excited. So thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us and getting us to episode 100. I've only been a small part of this journey, but I can't believe we're doing it.
You've been a big part of this journey. You've taken the show around a corner, up a hill, and planted your flag high up on a mountain. So do not discount your role. And I was just some guy talking into a microphone.
I will say I'm very proud of this achievement since I have come on. Not that it matters. If you do this, it's fine. We haven't had a repeat guest yet, just because I've been like, all right, let's try and get this person on. Or you've been like, hey, what about this person? So that's a really good achievement. That's not going to keep happening just because we're going to have our annual Zia on, and then Kaz and Frosty are going to need to come on to talk about their hogger. And so we will be having repeat guests. And just because there's so many cool people that we talk to that I want to talk to again. But that was pretty cool achievement for me for our year together. Was just, we did that.
Woohoo!
But yeah, I think that's going to be a show. We don't have outros, so just end now, Cuddles.
Bye.
Bye. We'll see you guys next week for Stack Up. This was a cluster, but it's fine. But
It was great.
it was great. We showed. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us for our very short Armageddon.
I feel like a lot of shows gracefully drift across the finish line to episode 100.
And we're just gonna roll it.
We're like we've tripped a few times.
Oh god.
There's some blood.
That is how I would win a race. It wouldn't be because I actually was the fastest. It would be I tripped and caused everyone else to trip, and then ended up being able to lap them because they've already lapped me and stumbled over the finish line. Like that's what I would do. There is no grace in this